What is up, you guys? I know there's a high chance nobody's watching this, but to anybody who is watching this, shout out to you. Thank you. I do appreciate it. So I believe I only have around 30 subs, so shout out to you guys. I do want to talk a little bit about my personal opinion and why I believe that the Ninja 400 is the best beginner bike anybody could get. So as I said in the last video, I've had my Ninja 400 for a while now, and since I do plan on selling it soon, I thought I would make a video about my experience with it and why I believe this is the best beginner bike. This is my first actual bike. This is my beginner bike. So a year ago when I was getting into the sport, I had no idea what I was getting into. I would search up which is the best beginner bike, or I would search up sports bike. All the videos that I watch would eventually lead up to this bike right here. So I did a little bit more digging on the Ninja 400 and I started to learn a little bit more about it. I did like this one. I liked how it looked. It has that kind of aggressive look. Actually, when I was first getting into this, I was more into Yamaha. I did want to find a Yamaha R3 or a Yamaha R6, but at the same time, a year ago, my brother was looking for his first car. We went over to Denver. He actually found, a pickup that he really liked. And once we got there, he did like the pickup and decided that that's the one that he wanted. So while they were filling out the paperwork, I searched motorcycle dealerships, and I found one not too far from the dealership that he was getting the pickup from. I decided to head over there. Once I got to the motorcycle dealership, it was a few minutes before they closed. I think it was literally like 30 minutes before they closed. So I got there and they had a few bikes. They had more bigger engine bikes than beginner bikes. So I did go up to somebody and I did ask them if they had any beginner bikes. They had said that it was my lucky day because not even a week ago someone had just came in and traded the Ninja 400 for a different bike. I asked if I could see it, and they didn't even have it in the showroom. So it was still in the back where they were doing maintenance on it. They were doing the checkups, making sure that everything was perfect before putting it onto the showroom. As soon as they brought it out, I knew that this was gonna be my first bike. Her original color was white. I actually put these fairings on myself. When they first brought it out, she did have some damage. Did notice that this whole right side right here, it had a couple damages. The fairings were cracked. She had a couple scratches on here from being dropped. Good, how are you?
Bike broke?
Huh?
Bike broke?
No, I'm just making a quick video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Have a good day. Thanks. But like I said, what the dealership told me was that the previous owner had just tipped her over while she was trying to get on. I noticed, the damages weren't too bad. The only actual damage that I saw was the fairings on the right side were cracked. I looked at it and the salesman lowered the price, so it was just too good of a price to let go. Knew right away that this was the bike. I went home, I got the money. A week later, I got her and I brought her home. But yeah, she's been my bike ever since. And now that I look back at it, like, I can't believe it played out how it did, just because everything lined up at the moment. That was my first experience with my bike. But yeah, I just wanted to share my backstory a little bit and share with you guys how I got my first bike. More specifically, I would like to share my experience as a beginner rider, because even though I've been riding for a whole year, to me, honestly, it feels like I'm still a beginner rider, just because there's so many things that I'm still learning. I'm not as nervous as I used to be, but there's a few things that I'm still learning. But yeah, since I do plan on selling her soon, I thought I would just share a little bit about my experience and why I believe this is the best beginner bike anybody could get. But yeah, let's go ahead and head to the gas station real quick. So I actually have somebody coming to look at it on Tuesday, but hopefully everything goes good and hopefully she does like it. And if she does like it, I will be selling her sometime. I will be selling her. Oh, what a stop. Nice. If everything does go good, she will have a new owner next week, so we'll see how it plays out. And once I do sell her, like I said, I do plan on upgrading, so I do plan on taking the money and saving it. I don't know exactly what I want yet, so if any of you guys want to give your opinion, let me know what you guys think I should get next, because I honestly don't know what I want. So let me know what you guys recommend I should get. First thing I want to say is that the looks. So you won't find another beginner bike that looks as good as the Ninja 400. It's really hard to find another bike that looks as good as this one. She's got that aggressive look on her. Not only that, but she is not too heavy. She only weighs around 360 pounds. So I could toss her around a little bit. She's very lightweight. Not only that, but she is also very forgiving. So the clutch is very forgiving. You guys know that she is not the fastest. I think she tops out at like 120, but I've never pushed it that fast. She's only pushing around 49 horsepower, so I know it's nothing too crazy, but at the same time, I've had her for a whole year and not once have I been bored. That is kind of what you want as a beginner rider, especially if you don't have any experience with bikes. You want something that's not too crazy. You want something that you are able to control. But like I said, that is something that you want as a beginner, especially if you've never had any experience with bikes. But she is also very comfortable. And I wouldn't say very comfortable, because there have been a few times where I've rode for about an hour or so and my butt starts hurting. So I guess that if I had any issues with it, that would probably be the only one. Oh yeah, she's good. I guess that would be my only complaint about her. She's not the fastest, but there's not too many complaints that I do have about her. Like I said, as a beginner, the speed is something you shouldn't be worrying about. You shouldn't be worried about the speed. And of course, you guys know that sport bikes aren't the most comfortable, just because you are leaned over. You are leaned over quite a bit. So, but yeah, everything else is perfect. She is also very cost efficient. If you're trying to save up some money, or if you ain't rich, she doesn't waste a lot of money. this would be your best route. She's very forgiving, she's very lightweight, she's super fun, she's not too aggressive like I said, but that's something that you shouldn't be even worried about as a beginner. There's a few other reasons why I think that the Ninja 400 is the best beginner bike, but you know, I'll keep the video short. I won't make it too long. If you have any questions, or you know, if you're thinking about getting the 400 as well, just go ahead and leave a comment. You know, I could talk on and on about this bike, but like I said, I do want to keep the video short. But not only that, but there is quite a few cops in town, so I'm not gonna risk it by being out here.